So this is a project I had people ask me about for the Netgate 3100. When I bought this, it was about $450 with their expansion, and it ran too hot. It was averaging in the low 150s, and the low spot was in the 40s. And it was just too hot if you brought up their thermal meter or thermal sensor, not the one in the control panel. It would show it was in the yellow all the time, and then even in the red, doing not much. So what I ended up doing was I opened it up, saw it was using one of those pads as a heatsink, which don't really work very well. And then you've got pot metal, which isn't a good thermal coefficient for heat sinking. And I thought, this can be better. This should be running in the 130s degrees. And so what I did is I opened up this on each side, made a big difference, but not enough. And the top. And on the inside, I found a plate that was perfect thickness to replace the pad. And I put heatsink compound on each side and sandwiched it all back together. And then I drilled these holes. If you see these holes, I drilled those because there was no incentive to draw the heat away from the package fast enough to get up to that big ridge of grid that you see there. The distance from that to the package was too far, and it was just solid pot metal. So these holes made a humongous difference. And now it runs at 132 to 134, and it might peak up when the CPU has to do an update to, say 140, 145. But it immediately, in record time, goes right back to 132 to 135. So this was just, I'm not saying you need to do it. I do it because I have engineering, and I know this thing should have ran cooler. Yes, it'll run stock fine, but when it gets into the red, it'll start throttling itself back to protect itself if you get thermal runaway. I live in a really cool area on the coast, and I think right now it's 70 and 72 in this room. And anyhow, so now it's, at least I know I got the coolest running 3100 in the country, in the world probably, at 132 to 135. So it does, it can be improved and run where it should. And I love Netgate and PfSense. You just can't say enough about PfSense and Netgate. So this was a good project, and it's good to go now.